Colleagues introduce themselves, starting at my left with Russ.
Russell Tompkins.
Norman Dolan.
Ron Mostelli.
Frank McMahon.
And we'd like to extend a
I
special,
don't think it's on. Is it on?
yeah, it's on. A special welcome to Frank McMahon for joining us as a new Zoning Board of Appeals member. Congratulations. We get our pays doubled every year. As we all know, multiples of zero still end up at zero, but we're grateful for your willingness to join us and to be a support and a help to our community. Yeah, definitely. So on the agenda for this evening, we have the area variance application for the Dicing area variance, and we have the continuation of the interpretation for Cornerstone and Rhinebeck. So to start, we will have, have all adjoining property owners been notified and all fees paid?
Except for the publication piece.
Okay, which we'll get. Also, this meeting is being broadcast via YouTube. Anything else?
On TV channel 22.
And TV channel 22, and the proceedings are being recorded. So, having said that, those for the Dicing area variance, if you would come forward, yeah, come and just have a seat up here, and if you can start by kind of summarizing why you're here and what you are asking of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
We were here 14 years ago,
All right.
and we got a variance, and we weren't aware that it could expire.
Okay.
So we're here to get it renewed.
All right.
And we went to planning the other night,
And so exactly what variances are you asking
and
for?
a 260 square foot variance for,
Over accessory dwelling?
Mhm.
You were
To
here.
convert it.
I don't, you won't remember maybe that long ago.
Yeah, I remember a lot of things. So yeah, okay, great. Any other ones?
And the variance with, and site plan, what was it?
no, there was only one variance.
Okay,
Yes.
And then we got the site plan, special use permit.
That
Sure.
special use permit, that's.
Right. Okay, great. Ron, if you want
Am I better off with this on or
to,
off?
on, that way they can
On?
hear,
Okay.
YouTube people can hear.
Is the mic, can you hear it?
Can you hear this okay?
Yeah, but
No,
mainly,
like,
Well, it's for the,
I want to make sure the microphone is on. Brandon, can you hear over there?
Are your guys' mics on? Because they're up, they're on up here.
yeah,
okay.
okay, good.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. It is fairly straightforward, as Mr. Deasing relayed to the zoning board. 2008, they asked for and were approved for an area variance for a 1,260 square foot building. The plan was at the time, they were not in the position to build the main residence, so this was kind of a holdover, I guess, if you will. But as the Deasings had said, they were not aware that the variance would in fact expire. So they're here in essence to reapply. Planning board did meet and provide a positive recommendation. I will read the key points or components of that. You have to bear with me, I'm working from a phone to conserve paper.
You have your recommendation.
So, planning board met on June 22nd regarding the Deasing area variance, tax grid number ending in 148673. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Deasing, at the Town of Clinton Planning Board meeting held on June 21st, I'm sorry, the letter dated June 22nd, the meeting was June 21st. Regarding the above subject application, the following motion was made. Mr. Dolan made a motion that the Town of Clinton Planning Board provides a positive recommendation to the Town of Clinton Zoning Board of Appeals on the requested area variance to section 25029B6 to allow the increase of the floor space requirement from 1,000 square feet to 1,260 square feet for an accessory dwelling, which is currently the principal dwelling. The applicant's intent is to sell the property with the requested variance and allow the new owners to build the new principal dwelling of at least 3,317 square feet and convert the existing dwelling on the property to an accessory dwelling unit. The requested variance is on a 10.1 acre site located off 9 Partners Road on 42 Bowman's Glen, lot number 1 of the Bowman subdivision. Property owned by Carl Deasing, I believe it's Joseph Deasing, and Rosaria Deasing. Tax grid, again, ending in 148673, which is located in AR5 zoning district in the town of Clinton. I won't go through all of the other factors as they're pretty much reiterated in my motion. The only thing of note was back in 2008, and this will probably come up, should probably come up for discussion, was brought to my attention that there was a suggestion that rather than the variance, the parcel could in fact be subdivided. So that might be something to review and discuss. Other than that, I can read you my draft, and we can,
just,
you want to discuss that now? Okay.
So, great, thank you for that.
Okay.
Any discussions from the board? Russ, do you have any?
Well, if I recall, right, this is a 10-acre parcel,
Just over 10, yes.
Yep.
5-acre zone,
Mm-hmm.
so it is double the acreage.
Yep.
So that would allow them to have an accessory dwelling on it because that's one of the requirements. So I think that my estimation is it would be perfectly acceptable to do it this way instead of causing them to have a subdivided. I think it makes sense to do it, have an accessory dwelling unit on the acreage is double what is required. So I have no problem with this the way it is.
Only thing of note is that, the accessory structure law was, or section of our zoning was amended in 2015. I don't see anything here that's significant. I just question about giving a variance when there's no principal dwelling yet. So we're giving a variance on something
That doesn't exist.
that doesn't exist
Right,
yet.
yeah, it was
So
a
I'd
little
like-
difficult for me to
I'd
wrap my
like-
head around that.
I'd like to discuss
Yeah.
that. I think maybe making it effective at the time the principal dwelling is done. And I think with the proposed size of the principal dwelling, there's no question for item A6 that the structure shall not be larger than the footprint of the principal building of the lot. I think the proposed principal dwelling will have a larger footprint.
Yeah, I think it reads.
But we don't know because it's not there yet. So I have, I don't know, we need to work around giving a variance for something that doesn't exist yet.
Right. But to your concern about the proposed dwelling, the conditions in the draft motion read, as does the planning board recommendation, a principal building of at least 3,317 square feet, I believe it is. So it will.
That was what,
Yeah,
yes.
so you'll
but-
be in compliance.
But there needs to be a condition then,
I
we-
believe it's there.
because
you're
it doesn't
talking about-
exist yet, okay?
Well, the hitch with that would be the sale of the property is contingent on the variance, so it would then become almost incumbent on the new owners to do it within
Well,
the expiration
our
period of this variance.
variances, and this may go to the point of confusion, because New York State, when a variance is, once a variance granted, it's granted. In our town, we have them for 1 year if they're not acted upon.
Mm.
So if you don't act upon them, you don't do it, then it goes away. If you do, then it's binding, then it stays with the property. So.
That was my point about the new owners having to
Yeah.
get that done
Yeah,
within.
exactly. So, I'm just saying, our variance is whatever we say, otherwise then it just kind of goes back to the way it was before. And
Is it realistic to think that these new owners the sale would go through and their construction would be done in the 12-month period?
12 months? No.
it wouldn't, as long as they're acting on it, like they're
Oh,
they're building.
so if it's underway, that'd be
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
As long as they started the building from there.
Okay.
Yep.
And they plan on doing that starting.
So
Yeah,
they
but-
would have to, according to Joseph, they'd have to at least start in 12 months.
Correct.
So, okay, all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I
And
understand.
if they didn't, again, like I said, it just goes away, like it didn't exist.
Worst case is, no.
Yeah.
Like what happened to them, that they lost and they do it
Yep.
again.
Yep,
They
exactly.
have to apply for a
Yes.
change in
Yep.
the state. They're aware of that they
Yep.
have to start within a year.
Okay.
Frank, any words of wisdom for us?
No, it sounds pretty straightforward to me.
All right. So I would like to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Any comments at this time from the public? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Any further discussion from the board?
Not at this time.
Okay. Ron, your motion.
Okay. I hereby motion that the Town of Clinton Zoning Board of Appeals, on the requested area variance to Section 250-29B6, allow the increase of the floor space requirement from 1,000 square feet to 1,260 square feet for an accessory dwelling, which is currently the principal dwelling. The applicant's intent is to sell the property with the requested variance and allow the new owners to build the new principal dwelling of at least 3,317 square feet and convert the existing dwelling on the property to an accessory dwelling unit. The requested variance is on a 10.1 acre site located off Nine Partners Road on 42 Bowman's Glen. Lot 1 of the Bowman subdivision property owned by Carl Deasing, Joseph Deasing, and Rosaria Deasing. Tax grid number ending in 148673, which is located in the AR5 zoning district in the town of Clinton. Whereas the applicant requests the variance to allow the increase of the floor space requirement from 1,000 square feet to 1,260 square feet for an accessory dwelling, which is currently the principal dwelling. 2, the applicant's intent is to sell the property to new owners who will construct a new principal dwelling of at least 3,317 square feet, or else a new variance will be required, and convert the existing dwelling on the property to an accessory dwelling unit after obtaining the required special permit. 3, the new principal structure will be of similar style to the existing dwelling and will not be a detriment to the character of their neighborhood. 4, the property is in the Ridgeline Scenic and Historic Protection Overlay District. 5, an area variance does not require an ag data statement. 6, the site is not in a New York State DEC wetland. 7, the site is on a designated scenic or historic road, that being Nine Partners Road. 8, there are no known outstanding zoning violations. 9, the property is not in a CEA district. 10, it is noted that an area variance is a type 2 action under secra and requires no further action. 11, the proposed variance will not have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. Accessory dwelling unit is a permit use in the AR5 zoning district. 12, the impact of the additional building square footage of 260 square feet is minimal. 13, the alleged difficulty is self-created. Only one condition, unless the board sees fit to add anything else, that all fees have been paid.
Second for discussion.
Second.
Okay, discussion? Any?
I didn't have anything to say, I just seconded it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, that's, we can say it. Is there any, just because I think that 1 year addresses that, otherwise it just goes away. You have the square footage in there, which addresses that.
No, we also have precedent of it being approved
Yeah.
prior, so.
Okay, great. So I'm going to get a vote, and Frank, your first time here, so an aye vote is in favor of granting the variance, and a nay vote is in opposition to granting the variance. So I will start with Russ over here. We'll give you a chance to do it last. Russ, your vote.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and my vote is aye. So your variance has been granted. All right. You're welcome. Yep.
You related to the DC Auto Store used to be in Poughkeepsie? Yeah. Back 50 years ago, I remember going in many times.
They used to live down the street from us.
Killed up on
Yeah.
Bullhead Road. He used to deliver parts. He drove a Volkswagen. He lived in Staffordville. Yeah.
They lived actually 2 doors away from us.
Did we wait for Kyle or?
I can't remember his name, but I used to work at the gas station in Salt Point. On the way home, he would drop all the parts.
We're moving forward. Yeah.
This would have been back in the 60s. I wish I could say that.
Good night.
Pat? Is Kyle coming?
Okay.
All right.
All right, so, All right, we ready to move on?
Ready?
Russ, you ready? So, okay, I would like to motion that the Town of Clinton Zoning Board of Appeals enter into executive session for the purpose to discuss confidential attorney-client work, product, and to confer with the town attorney regarding privileged and confidential information and material. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we move.
Okay.
Yeah,
With
I
our
can't
papers,
move.
right?
With all this documentation?
Take your time while I sleep. No, downstairs. It's,
Oh, downstairs? Okay. Thought we were going into the court.
Joseph, just put the lights on. You know where it is, right? Yeah, bring your
I bring
water.
your water.
Bring your water.
I'll bring my water.
We are still live out there, so.